The day ahead. Good morning. Hello. Hello. January 27th. The day ahead. The day ahead of me. Yesterday, I sat down early in the morning and I tried to do this, tried to sit here and talk into this microphone, and it wasn't working. The microphone wasn't working. The headphones weren't working. And I'd scheduled just enough time in the morning before work that I could sit down and I had a window to do this. And then as the headphones were actively not working, I watched I watched time slip away from me. I watched the time that might be available to do what I set out to do slip away, and that was pure frustration. That was the most angry that I've felt in a long time. And the reason why I felt angry was because what was happening became out of my control. And maybe you could say it was a lack of preparation. Maybe if I were more prepared, that wouldn't have happened. And I could have eliminated unnecessary frustration, and I could have actually got done what I set out to do. Because that's ultimately where it came from. I set out to do something and then I wasn't able to do it. And I was angry at myself for not being prepared. And I was angry at myself for not knowing how to fix the problem. And I was angry at the problem for arising. And I was angry at God. And that's real. I was angry at God. I was like, why is this happening? This is like an act of, I set out to do something. It's supposed to work. Why would it not work? And yeah. So that is not the way that you want to start a day. That is not the way you want to do anything in life, is through anger. But the day didn't go bad despite that. I let go of the anger and I said, well, the good news is that I don't have to do it every day. I mean, it would be better to do it diligently and often, but you don't necessarily have to do it every day. And so yesterday, the whole malfunction happened. I let go, and then I went to work, and things just played out like they would, like they would, and nothing was horrible, but it could have been better. The day ahead. All right, what's relevant though? None of that matters. What does matter? Here's where we are at in the world. January 27th. Constantly I'm talking about the seasons. Seasons are what is on my mind because winter is killing me. I think winter kills everyone. My skin is literally pale and cracking. I can see my skin cracking from the cold weather, and I'm not meant for this weather. And it affects me emotionally and it affects me mentally. I always feel insatiated. I feel like nothing that I do brings me satisfaction in the winter. It's probably because I'm so deprived of the sun. I love Indiana, but I don't know because of that how much longer I'll even be able to stay in Indiana just because of these winters. So I talk about winter often, and the reason why I talk about it is because I want to look forward to what comes after. I want to look forward to the winter is going to happen. It's going to happen, but it'll pass. So I think about it. I think about what I don't like about it. I think about what I hate about it, and then I move on. And I look towards the spring. And the most the most fulfilling image in my mind is I see fast forward a few months from now, I see myself running by the canal, running by a canal, running by a river. And it's springtime. Right now, everything is dead. Grass is dead, trees are dead, there's no green. And things get cold when it rains, and it gets cold and wet when it snows, and it just stays cold and wet all the time. It's miserable. This image in my mind, though, it's springtime. Fast forward maybe 3 months from now, I'm running by the canal, and my beard has grown back out, and everything that I see is green again, and everything is alive. And, a, and in this particular fantasy, it's after a soft rain, and I'm running. But the biggest, it's like a vision in my mind, and it's like an intuition of what I want and what I'm going for. And that is what I tangibly want. I do want those things. I want to physically be running by a canal. I want to work out, and I want to be doing so in the slightly warm weather after a light rain. That is what I physically want. But the most beautiful part about this fantasy is I can, I'm something about myself. I can tell that I'm doing it without stress. There's no stress in this fantasy. I have no stress. And to go back to that has been my stress has been my stress has been like poison in my mind for the past couple of years. And it's literally deteriorated the quality of my life. And there's nothing really even to be that stressed out about. And I just feel like I'm always right on the verge of survival. I feel like I'm always fighting with life and death. Like I'm always walking a fine line of, yeah, I'm living right now, and I'm kind of moving upward in a good trajectory, but I'm also kind of right on the verge of dying. And I always feel like that's where I live. I'm always right on the verge of absolute failure and having my life crumble into complete disarray. And it's not true. I mean, that's true. It's not just how I feel. That is a real thing. And I because of that, it's it's like toxin. It's like a toxin, and it will definitely make me older. It'll age me. It'll make me less healthy. And it really is a poison. It, it's not just something that makes you feel down or low or in any way just emotionally negative. It is that, but it's not just that. It's also it's also like an actual health issue. And if I keep going down this pathway, it's if I keep going down this pathway, I'm going to be way older than I actually am. My life is going to get away from me. So what needs to happen is to not be on the verge of life and death at all times. I need to tighten up my trajectory and actually go. And then when I'm surviving, keep thriving. Rather than getting ahead and then letting myself fall back behind, get ahead, then become more organized and set goals to get further ahead. And not to get ahead egotistically or to accumulate power over other people or to stack up a bunch of cash, but to get ahead simply to not be behind anymore. Get ahead simply for your own well-being so that you don't have to worry about things, so you don't have to be anxious and you don't have to be stressed out. That is why the other morning, or yesterday morning, that is why I became irate when the headphones weren't working, because I wasn't prepared, because I set out to do something. There's something that needs to get done. There's something I set up to do. I set out to do it, and it has to get done. And if I don't have that attitude as though it has to get done, I'm not really a man of my word. I'll say things and I'll say that I want to do things, but then they can happen or they don't happen, and either way is fine. So you can't be that kind of person. If you say that you're going to do something, you have to do the thing. You always have to do the thing. Otherwise, don't say you're going to do it. So I said that I was going to wake up and do whatever this is, but headphones weren't working. So I set out to do a thing, not fully prepared though. It's my fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It can only be my fault. So lack of preparation, and then I became irate because I set out to do something. My own lack of preparation thwarted me. And so that is a zoomed in version, a micro analysis of the greater problem. And the greater problem, which is stress. So there's a specific instance of when I could physically see myself heat up, and I could literally see the anger arise. And that is what happens from lack of preparation. So now carry that same idea over to all aspects of your life. Carry that same idea to all aspects of your life. And then look at your own emotions. And you feel miserable, or you feel angry, or you feel bitter all the time. You feel angry and bitter because you're not prepared in life. You don't know where you're at. You don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. You don't know what you want. So you go off of what other people want. And that's the biggest problem. That is possibly, that very well could be the biggest problem that I see in the world, is people who chase other people's pursuits because they don't have that. People need purpose. You've got to have something that you're going towards. If you don't have anything you're going towards, then you're in a place of purposelessness, and that widens a void within you. That creates a gaping hole within inside of you that you'll find a way to fill. You're going to do it through immediate pleasure and just being overindulgent or greed or whatever you want to throw in there, but it's all trash. Whatever you throw in there, it's not the right thing. It's trash. And so it's poison. And so what can be done? I mean, obviously more preparation. If you're pursuing other people's goals, that's really all anyone has. Not just goals, but aspirations, dreams, fantasies. This is your life. Dreams, fantasies, those equate to your future. What future you're going towards? Do you look inward? Do you have the mental energy? You definitely have the mental capacity, but do you exert the mental energy and focus to look towards the future and ask yourself genuinely what you want? What it is that you want for yourself in this life? Do you ask yourself that? Because if not, you're going to do whatever the people around you are doing or what they're telling you to do. And then you're going to be miserable, and you're going to be less of a person than you could otherwise be. Because your trajectory is everything. There really is nothing more than where you're going. Yeah, you've got a character, you've got personality, you've got things that you are right now. I could make a monumental change in my life, and I could make a decision, a declaration, and even speak this change out loud. I could say, all right, I'm never eating sugar again. I'm never eating sugar again. I'll never eat any sugar again. I'll tell people that, but then just because I've made that decision, don't mean now I'm a person, or I've made that decision. It's not even making that decision. I've just said a thing. Just because I've said a thing doesn't mean I've actually become that person. You've got to live in that way and do those things. You've got to actually be actionable. You've got to bring your philosophy into the world. You can't just say things and not live in the way of that you're speaking. So you have to have goals, and they can't be other people's goals. They have to be your own goals. And then that will dictate where you end up in the future.